Welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
And good morning to you, and thanks for joining us here on the Coffee and program on Tuesday morning. It's May 13th. We're almost halfway through the month of May. I'm Joe Callahan, around the coffee and table. Say good morning to Ed Carew. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning.
And Linda Tebow's here. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here with us. And our first segment sponsor of the Coffee and program is the Carew Investment Group in their new digs. How long have you been in the new digs?
Has
it been a year?
A year.
Has it been a year?
It's been a year, yeah.
Wow. Time goes by fast, huh?
Yeah, when you're having fun.
I mean, that's, well, and even when you're not.
It goes by fast anyway, right?
Wow.
As we get older, it goes even
Yeah,
faster.
even quicker.
Wicked fast.
Very fast.
All right, let's get a first message, Ed, from the Carew Investment Group.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Are you retired or retiring soon? Well, that's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group, 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, Rhode Island. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, you can call me or Paul at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thank you very much. And, the stock market did well yesterday. I think it was yesterday. We were hearing the stories that, the U.S. and China came to some kind of tariff agreement or something.
A truce.
Yeah, that's going to last for what?
A pause, yeah, something
like for 90
that.
days?
90
something like
days,
that.
yeah.
They're
And,
going to work it out during that time.
and the stock market went up. So that was
That was just a matter of
time?
Time, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like they weren't going to continue with those crazy tariff numbers forever, and
Right.
you knew that it was coming. You just didn't know when.
Yeah. So it's all regained from, remember from a couple of weeks ago, it was all
But I tell
doom and
you-
gloom.
Wait a minute.
Well,
wait.
that's
But it
most
bounces
of
back.
that is the media's fault.
I agree
You
with
know,
that.
it's-
Yeah. Because someone's looking around to do a story, and they say, "Oh, we'll do
Yeah.
a story because the stock market's going down. Oh, it's the end of the world."
Yeah.
And then it
Really.
goes around the
You know,
United
I've been doing
States.
this
It's the
for
end of the world.
38 years, since 1987.
Yeah.
And the story is always the same.
It's the same story.
You get these.
It's crashing.
There's
Yeah.
a reason for it to happen. Okay,
yeah.
It's a banking crisis. It's COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's tariffs. There's always something.
Yeah, that sparks
And
it.
it's the end of the world.
Every
Get out
single
while
time.
you can.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then first thing you know, you get a turnaround by one little thing.
Yep.
And you always know. If you're doing this long enough, you know when it's about to turn.
Yeah.
Because there are signs that the general people wouldn't know what to look for.
Right.
But you see these things and you say, "Oh, it's gonna turn at any time now," because things are there. One of them is the volatility index.
Mm-hmm.
It hit 60 a few days ago.
60 out of what?
That's just a number, 60.
Okay.
All right, it's not 60 out of 100 or
All
whatever.
right.
It's just 60.
Yeah.
It's usually 15.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
It's some people call it the fear index. The higher the number, the more people are afraid.
Okay.
It really, I don't remember ever going
high?
above 60.
Okay.
But every time it gets close to 60, you're generally ready for a turnaround.
Yeah.
It might not be the bottom, but you're going to get a rally. It's like we had yesterday. That's what we call in our Wall Street language, our jargon, a rip your face off rally. Right? I'm just
funny.
saying,
Yeah.
you have an idea of what's coming. You can't pinpoint it to the day,
Right.
and you don't even know what it's going to be.
Okay.
You just know that something's going to happen.
Something will trigger it.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So we're all...
So you get your rip off face.
Rip your face off. I
Face
like
off
that.
rally yesterday.
All right. Well, bad news in the sporting world. First of all, the Red Sox get crushed last night.
It was
Yeah, that
12
was
to
sad.
it was 12-1 last I saw.
14-2.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They lost. And funny, I shut it off when it got to be 8-0 or 6-0. I forget
Oh,
what it
yeah,
was,
yeah.
but it was so early in the game,
Yeah.
like third inning. I'm like, oh, forget it.
Does
And
not
I don't know
bode
what is
well.
wrong with Tanner Houck, but
yeah.
it's not good.
No.
Not good at all. So, but the other part is the Celtics. Now, the Celtics lost last night.
They did lose.
They did lose, and they're down 3-1 to
3-1
the New York Knicks.
now.
So they're if they lose one more, they're out. But the worst thing that happened is Jason Tatum
He got hurt.
got carried
yeah.
off the court.
Yeah.
And then there's pictures of him in a wheelchair at Madison Square Garden. And now the Celtics haven't said anything. There's nothing official yet because it's too early in the morning. But people are speculating. It looks like an Achilles problem, or he broke something. So
Yeah.
either way, it looks like
Not
he's
good.
not playing
Yeah.
Wednesday night. You're gonna play Wednesday night? I believe it's Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So if he's not in the lineup, oh boy.
Yeah.
And now you would hope the other players would rally around him and play better for him. But you never know.
Yeah.
So, like, yikes, things are not looking good right now
No.
on the sports scene. So all the Celtics are saying right now at 8 in the morning on Tuesday is that it is a lower body injury. Well, okay, I could come up with that. I know it's his leg.
Stub my
Yeah.
toe.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
other than that, well, we're not saying anything.
There's a lot in the lower body that could get injured.
Another thing I just read, I think it's from New York Times. They reported that one of the assistant coaches was helping Tatum to the back, and he got a hold of, when they got him in the back, he came back out and he saw Jason Tatum's mother, and he went and got her and said, "Your son needs you." And they rarely bring family members into the locker
Yeah.
room, but this was an emergency. I'm
Wow.
like, uh-oh.
Yikes.
Not good. So, all right. So we and the Bruins aren't playing, and the Patriots are not playing right now. So
No.
they're doing all right
Yeah.
You're doing all right. They're not playing.
Because they're not
because they're not
playing,
playing.
right?
Well, they're not losing or anything like that. So, all right. So let's all rejoice because we're not living in East Providence
Okay.
with the dead whale.
I know.
That's been there since January, and we're just finding out about it now.
Yeah.
And the people from Mystic Aquarium came up and took a look at it.
Nice.
And they've decided we're leaving it here.
Yeah.
They're not taking it back to Connecticut. They're not going to do the necropsy on it that they said they were going to do. They said, nope, it's nothing. It wasn't killed. I guess that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It just died of natural causes. The whale just died.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to leave it on the beach, and it's just going to decompose naturally.
Naturally.
All right.
That's a lot of whale.
That's a lot of whale.
To decompose. Yeah.
decompose.
Yeah.
And it won't be fast. So, and the mayor of East Providence, not too crazy about this idea.
No.
It's
no.
at Bold Point Park. I don't know where this is
Yeah.
in East Providence, but it's on the water, obviously.
A
And
nice
so,
park to stay away from right now.
Yeah.
well, or if you want to go there, you just
The odor must
yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what's bad. Just follow your nose to get there, and if you're gonna wait,
Yeah.
and it's beached now. The carcass is there, and okay, elements will take care of it, and the seagulls
Yeah.
will,
Yeah.
and bugs and like that. Maybe some.
They seem a lot
small
of them
animals.
are like beaching, huh?
There was another one out on the Cape.
Yeah.
Another dead whale came up
Do you
on
think,
the
you know,
beach.
those-
So I don't know
those
what's happening.
Things in the ocean that spin around.
Things
Those
in the ocean that
turbines.
spin around. The wind turbines?
Yeah.
What, that they swam into one?
Well, I don't know. They've got to have some. They don't. I mean, they're not naturally occurring in the ocean.
Yep. The wind turbines? No,
They don't
no,
grow.
okay.
So you wonder, are they having an impact on? I don't know. They make sounds. They're motors. They have parts, moving parts and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder.
But according to the mystic, so no necropsy, no removal, no burial.
For this particular one.
This one, yes.
Well, I think Mystic said it was already too decomposed to do much with it.
Okay. Why
Like
can't you,
even to move it, I
well, why
think.
can't you bury it?
'Cause I don't know. They didn't say.
All right. No, they don't. They
But
just
they
say
just said to move it was
Yeah.
was it was too decomposed already.
It probably just fall apart if you start
yeah,
moving it around.
that-
Okay.
I think that's what.
All right.
So.
So okay.
Yeah.
Stay out of East Providence, I guess,
Yeah.
if you don't.
You're
Well,
right.
I didn't
because that's what's
realize it
gonna
was there
happen.
since January.
Well, it's been floating out there.
Oh, and it finally
ocean.
beached.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. They noticed it. It initially washed up in January during barge removal operations, and over several weeks, the carcass was seen in several locations.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I wonder what's doing that to them, though. You know,
I don't know, but
because you're hearing a lot about whales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But maybe it was just old,
perhaps.
you know. And I think back, you go back like to the 1700s. Were whales beaching themselves back then? Well, we don't know because no one
No,
wrote,
because they
wrote
were
anything
whaling.
down.
They were whaling then.
Well, yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
they didn't get a chance
And
to beach.
okay, let's go
themselves.
back farther, 1500s.
Okay.
I'm sure sick whales beached themselves then. No, okay, that's just what they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, so that's what's going down there in EP. So just something to be aware of. Let's see what else is going on. That's of relative importance here. The superintendent of schools in Johnston wants to step down. The story read he's been there for 15 years.
15 years.
And the story reads that he has to submit his resignation to the school committee, and they have to accept it. Well, what if they don't?
Well, I think they have to.
Well, you would think they would, but it sounds like, well, no, we don't accept your resignation, so you still have to stay on the job. Hey, I'm heading to Florida July 1st.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, if they say if the committee accepts his resignation, his last day will be June 30th. I mean, it's probably a foregone conclusion, and they're
Well,
probably already looking for a replacement. But I just find it amusing
Yeah.
that they have to say, we okay your resignation letter.
It's probably just a formality.
Formality.
I guess so.
Like for benefits and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you're giving us enough of
I mean, it's just
To
a
let
way
everybody
so
know.
that he can't come back and say, hey,
yeah.
how come you guys aren't letting me back, continue to do my job? So
Yeah.
you resigned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And we have it in writing. And
Yeah. I
oh,
mean, that's what
okay.
I would think it is.
And you
but
gave us this much
do I
notice, so
know?
yeah. Yeah.
just a broker.
you don't have to put in a resignation letter, do you?
Well, when you leave a firm, you do.
Well, I guess you do.
Yeah, when I left Jessup and Lamont, I had to,
Yeah.
send in a resignation letter.
Did you write it on a napkin like Bill Belichick, just says I quit, and hand it to the New York Jets?
That was a little more formal than that.
Oh, okay,
you know.
okay. Did they ask you questions like why and things like that? And
No.
Okay.
There was no questions on there. It was just I resigned from the firm.
Yeah.
Firm, okay.
And from a human resource point of view, they shouldn't ask you why, and you don't need to say why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't.
They might not
Just-
like the answer anyway.
Well, even if they're not, you don't have to say why. You just, this end of story.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the CEO of the company called me after
Wow,
I sent
really?
my
Yeah.
letter in. He was in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and he called me from Australia
Yeah.
trying to convince me
To stay?
come back.
To
Wow.
conve- yeah. Well, see, that's different. So what can I do to make you stay?
Yeah.
Is very different than why are you leaving? Yeah, yeah. And you were a valued employee, so they would want you to stay. I'm sure. It doesn't always work that way.
Mm-hmm. When you talk about asking why, it always reminds me when I was in my teen years. My older sister gave me I thought a great piece of advice. She says, when you in a few more years, you're going to be start going out to the clubs and like that, and meeting the girls and like that. And she says, if you go up to a girl and you ask her to dance,
Yeah.
and she says no, say thank you and walk away.
Don't ask why.
Don't ask
Yeah.
why. And then me, I'm saying, well, why shouldn't I ask why?
Yeah, yeah.
She might tell you why.
Yeah, right. You might not
and
like
you
the
might
answer.
not like the answer.
You
So
might
if it's
not
just
like the
if it's
answer.
just no thank you, you
Just
you
let it
back
go.
away and
Yeah.
so very nicely.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Because you might end up saying something like, "I want a second opinion." And you're going to say, "And you're, ugly too."
That's right. That's right. So I always heeded that advice.
It's true.
and,
It's true. Yeah.
And when I was turned down,
Just
okay, fine.
let it be, right?
I'll go back to
Let it be.
Go back to my drink over here. All right. All right, time for our first break here on the Coffee and program. So, Ed Carew, time for a second message from the Carew Investment Group.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. The Carew Investment Group, 765-8880. That's a telephone number, and we have some simple advice about investing. The truth is, there is no simple advice about investing. The old days of financial uptrends and downtrends lasting for days, weeks, and months are long gone. Example, take a look at the last few weeks.
That's right.
And yesterday. Sometimes trends last for only part of a day before changing direction. And investing is not an activity for those who can't take the time to study each twist and turn for the opportunity that it truly presents. Since 1987, I've seen them all, and I'll invest for you the same way we invest for ourselves. Carefully, very carefully. And it won't cost you a nickel to talk about it. So give us a call at 765-8880. Our office is conveniently located at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. A large assortment of bag hangers and hanging flower baskets are in stock now at Belo's Flowers. Also in stock now are perennials, sweet and hot peppers, plus 60 different varieties of tomatoes. Speaking of tomatoes, cheater tomato plants are in at Belo's Flowers. The tomatoes are already growing. Stop in today for racks of herbs, potting soil, bagged mulch, and lawn lime. Belo's Flowers, 665 Diamond Hill Road, Woonsocket. Oh, and don't forget houseplants and dish gardens at Belo's Flowers.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores. It's Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Linda Tebow and Ed Carew. And did I read this right? Did some Middle Eastern country give us, give Trump, Qatar gives an airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And they got to say it's the new Air Force One?
Well,
Is that what it's supposed to be?
I guess
could
from
be.
what I heard,
Yeah.
they're going to use it as the new Air Force One because
It's a newer plane?
it looked like a newer plane to me, but
Okay.
it didn't even look like a Boeing plane. Maybe it
yeah.
is. I'm not
know
an
your planes.
expert on my planes. Because the new Air Force One is way behind. It was ordered by Trump in his first term, and Boeing hasn't. There have been so many changes and
Yeah,
so many complications that they've run into because there's so many things that they have to do to the plane to make that is different than the regular planes.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yes, they did.
So if this is England, we got to repaint it and like that.
I would think so.
Yeah. So what do we do, or what does the government of our country do with old Air Force One?
I don't know.
Do we just keep dropping it down and it becomes Air Force
Well,
Two, and
Well, no.
No? or do we just dismantle it and say sell it for parts?
I don't know.
I don't know.
don't know.
I've never seen this come up before.
but and what they reported about that new plane as a gift, that they have to take it apart piece by piece and look for any kind of listening
Yeah.
devices,
Oh,
or
yeah.
make it okay for
They're
a
not gonna
president
just
to be on
Paint
board.
it and start using
Yeah,
it. They're gonna-
yeah, you
they're gonna
can't.
make sure it's legit.
Yeah, and there are those that think it's not such a good idea.
Well, why would the country give us this?
Well, there lies the rub. I think
Yeah.
I think that's the point of contention for some folks. Like, why?
All right.
Why?
Why are you being so
Why?
generous?
Why? Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
And I've also heard that they didn't really give it to the country. They actually just gave it to Trump to be his personal plane. I've heard that too, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. And people say, well, now you gotta put it in. We gotta do whatever you gotta do when you accept a gift from a foreign country.
Right, yeah. The president is not supposed to accept
Except
gifts like
over
that.
a certain amount of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It has to be
there's-
This is way over.
pre-approved by the Congress.
Congress, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
And- and-
will that really hold in this case? I mean,
Yeah,
he does a lot
and
of things.
ethically, that's the whole
You
thing.
know, well, the whole
ethic.
thing is that you don't want him or any other president to accept gifts from foreign nations.
That's right.
And then reciprocate by giving them something,
Something,
Right.
or
yeah.
some
Yeah.
information, or
Yeah.
this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
you
The
know.
appearance of it is
Right.
to
Yeah.
beholden to another.
No, Qatar's a very rich country, aren't they? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't they have? There's a lot of
Right.
oil there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe they're just looking for
Yeah.
like a defense.
Yeah.
Help us if we get
Yeah.
invaded by another country.
I don't know.
All right.
So right now he's in Saudi Arabia.
Isn't that where the Ukraine and Soviet Union, Russia peace talks are supposed to take place?
That was in Turkey.
Or is
yeah,
that
I
Turkey?
think there has been some of it there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I heard something funny yesterday that maybe the President Zelensky doesn't want to sit down with President Putin right now because Putin might offer him a drink, and Putin's been known to put poison
Yeah.
in drinks. He might not want to drink anything that.
I'll bring my
Or
own.
eat anything.
I have
Yeah,
my own water
yeah.
bottle. Thank you very much.
Bring your own booze.
Yeah, really. I have my own vodka. All right, thanks. And the other thing is, Trump yesterday signed the executive order. It's to lower prescriptions
Yes.
in pharmaceuticals. So, when should that take place immediately?
I think he gave them 30 days. If I'm remembering what I heard.
Yeah, I think so.
He said
Okay.
30 days, the pharmaceutical companies, 30 days to
So we'll end
do
up.
that, or else they were going to go someplace else to get the meds.
Well, they would start
They start
allow more drugs.
more
from
drugs
other
from other countries to come in because
Oh,
the
okay.
price is lower. Yeah.
All right. And he's, I heard him yesterday saying, the United States pays 3 times more than what other countries pay for the same thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, we're just tired of subsidizing other countries' healthcare systems.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
That's
it's
not
got to
the
put it in
whole
action.
story,
It's not the
though.
whole story.
No.
What's the
No,
rest?
no.
What's the rest of the story there, Harvey? Paul Harvey.
We pay more for our drugs, but we have access to them.
Okay.
A lot of other countries in Europe, even in the European Union and stuff, they have the drugs and they're cheaper, but they refuse to pay for them. The government, because it's all socialized medicine for the most part.
Okay.
The government says we're not paying for that, for that particular drug. So
Why? Because it's too expensive.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's still it's still too expensive for what they want to pay.
I see.
So
right.
that's part of it too. You don't hear those things.
No, you don't.
I'm not trying to defend the high prices here compared
Yeah.
to the lower prices there, but they got tiered pricing.
Mm-hmm.
What they call the richer countries like the United States and Britain and France and a lot of the European countries, they pay a higher rate. But other countries like in Africa and stuff where people are very poor, they pay a very low rate. So
For the
part
same
of what
one.
part of our money and probably part of theirs, a lesser amount of theirs, goes to pay for these drugs that go to the poorer nations. So.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens in a month when it goes into effect. I know Massachusetts has this law, and Linda, I don't know if Rhode Island has this, but Mass has it where if you're prescribed a certain drug and it's a named drug, in Mass the pharmacies have to look for a generic version, and then if they find one, that's what they give you to make the cost lower.
Yeah.
I know Mass does it, but I don't know if Rhode Island does this.
I don't. That's not sounding familiar.
No?
Yeah, no.
All right. So, Alrighty, so we'll look forward to lower prescription prices.
Yeah, I think for the
Hopefully.
most part you will see some, and most of that's going to be coming from the pharmacy benefits managing company, like the middleman.
Mhm.
You know, like the United Health and others that CVS
Yeah.
stuff like that, where these guys get a good chunk of the money.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
But I think what he was talking about though too is that like people with Medicare, and it's that part, whatever is it, Part B, whatever that drug thing, and they can't negotiate for how much it costs the government, and I think that's an issue, and I think that's where he's going with that too, with the why can't they negotiate for a better price?
Oh yeah, Medicare.
Medicare,
Medicare never had the right to negotiate for price.
for
They
prices.
do now.
They do now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do now.
yeah.
But this is not just for Medicare.
This is for
everything.
all drugs, right?
Yeah.
This is for all drugs. Yeah.
all right. Well, I hope it doesn't turn out where, because some of the drugs, you go in and with my system, you don't pay anything. Okay, this one is free. I hope it doesn't turn around and say, well, now you got to pay $10 for this. And there are no
Yeah.
more free medications
Yeah.
anymore because we gotta still make money on it, kind of some way.
Could happen.
It could. It certainly could. All right. And a new topic: Massachusetts ranked 5th, top 5 states, of anti-Semitic incidents in 2024. I'm like, wow, top 5. Most of the places where it came in, where the problems are occurring for this, is Boston, Cambridge, and Newton.
College towns. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we came in 5th, and but we top 5: New York, California, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and then Massachusetts.
Oh.
And then a lot happened at Harvard University. There's your Cambridge.
Well, that's what I mean. College towns. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. So this is all from the Anti-Defamation League, and they counted 438 incidents in Massachusetts just last year, and we're looking at vandalism, harassment, and assault on Jewish people.
It's very sad.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow. Does it come down to just dueling? Is it? Are they looking at dueling protests? Because that was what was happening at Harvard. We get the Palestinian supporters over here, and we get the Israel supporters over here. And are they clashing with each other? And they say, well, that's okay. That's an anti-Semitic event. I don't know who, or are they going with individual
Yeah.
reports from police? I don't know.
I don't know.
Does it surprise you it's that high, Ed?
I'm surprised that we're 5th, but I'm not surprised that it happens all the time.
Yeah. All right, that's quite a shame. And but also up in Massachusetts and a little farther north, up in Burlington, police up there said a man who allegedly threatened to do a mass shooting at the Burlington Mall was stopped. It was good. He actually had no access to guns,
Yeah.
and so he was just spouting off, and he was experiencing a mental health crisis. Investigators were able to identify the suspect who made the threat to a gas station clerk. As a precaution, the mall was searched, and local police and state troopers were on the scene when it closed for the day. No charges were immediately filed. Kudos to the gas station clerk who called the police and
Right.
said, "This is what this guy has
Yeah.
just threatened to do."
Yeah.
So, all right, and glad nothing came of it. So that worked out okay. And let's see, Governor of Massachusetts, we have someone that's thrown their hat in the ring. Ed,
Yeah.
former MBTA general manager under the Charlie Baker administration, is running for governor. Republican Brian Shortsleeve launched his campaign yesterday morning, promising a conservative vision built on cutting spending and putting Massachusetts first. Who's that sound like? The man is 52 years old. He is the first GOP candidate in the race to challenge the incumbent Maura Healey. Haven't heard much from Maura lately. Has she done anything okay? She's keeping.
She was in the news the other day about
Something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
All right. Well, okay. And the Karen Reed trial goes on.
It does.
Yeah.
Does it go on? Things will continue today. Let's see. Who was on stand yesterday? Police Sergeant Yuri Buckhennick was grilled by the Reed's defense attorney over multiple days about issues with the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe. Buckhennick also defended Michael Proctor, the former lead detective in the case, fired for his unprofessional behavior during the investigation. So I don't know how you defend that, but I guess he did. So, and it goes on. And the other one, I think the jury has it for it here in Rhode Island for the down in North Kingstown, the basketball coach.
Yeah, I think it's with the jury
the
now.
naked fat test.
Yeah.
It did all testimony's been
Yeah.
heard now, and he took the stand in his own defense.
He did.
So we'll see what the jury says. I wonder if they'll come back today. They could come back today if they start deliberations.
They could, yeah.
So that we'll, as we say, we gotta stay tuned for that. More to come. All right, we're gonna take a break here in Coffee and more coming up, and it's time for the forecast, which is being brought to you by Compassion International.
Partly sunny skies today with a high of 72 degrees and a light wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 51. Wednesday's weather, cloudy skies for the most part, high of 70. Wednesday night, rain comes in, 70% likely. Thursday, a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms continuing, mostly cloudy, high of 72. Friday, mostly cloudy and 79 with a calm wind. Friday night, rain is likely. Saturday, partial sunshine and 78. Sunday, a chance of a shower is tiny. Partial sunshine will be the rule of the day with a high of 78. And on Monday, partly sunny skies, high of 69 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, where we do have sunny skies and 66 degrees. Imagine a child in extreme poverty waiting over a year to be sponsored. End their wait today. Become a Compassion sponsor. Text radio to 83393. Transforming your house into a home is what they do at Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center. Kitchen trends for 2025 include big color, open shelving, mixed materials, hardware reimagined, keeping it green, and room to gather. Kevin and his crew at Cumberland Kitchen can show you the latest trends and possibly something you have not thought of. Visit CumberlandKitchen.com or stop into the showroom in the McDonald's Plaza on Mendon Road, Cumberland, just off Route 295. Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center.
Ever order a pizza that turned out to be not quite what you expected? Order from Ollie's Pizzeria in Woonsocket and taste the difference local love can make. Not only do Sam and Tina live in, work in, and love Woonsocket, they know exactly what it takes to make you the perfect pizza. That's because they have been making pizzas since the 1970s. Sam and Tina have made and served over 2 million pizzas with their combined experience. So they know what it takes to make the perfect pizza pie. Taste the local love that has customers coming back for more and more at Ollie's Pizzeria, 204 South Main Street, on the corner of South Main Street and Front Street in Woonsocket. Ollie's.
Hello, this is Kevin Callahan. Join me and Pat Holland in the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Sports Talk every Saturday morning at 9 here on ON, AM, and FM.
It is Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. And just over the line, a 31-year-old Attleboro man who was already a level 1 sex offender. Is that the worst? Did they go, or is it level 3 the worst?
I'm not sure.
I forget which.
I think number 1 is the worst.
Is the
The
worst.
one, yeah, I think.
All right.
Yeah, I think one is.
Okay, so this man, 31-year-old man, who's already a level 1 sex offender, he pleaded guilty. This took place yesterday to federal child pornography possession charge. These people just either they don't care or they just can't help themselves, and I don't think they can be rehabilitated. And because he was convicted, let's see, he was convicted in 2012 of indecent assault and battery on a child under the age of 14. He was sentenced to probation. Why? I don't know. He won't do it again, Judge.
Slap on the wrist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now he goes back out, and prosecutors say Eric Brault was identified as a suspect using an encrypted online chat program where child porn was trafficked. He was charged in December. He pleaded guilty last week in Boston federal court, and he will be sentenced to the new conviction. In August, he faces between 10 and 20 years in prison. So, you gotta. Well, maybe they just don't think, but there are certain police officers, there are certain federal agents. This is all they do, is go online to try to find you, and they use any means necessary to get you, like pretending, and like that.
They find them,
and especially when you're on your computer, your IP address, they know exactly where you are, and where it's coming from. So, but it does beg the question. Assault and battery on a child under 14, and you were given
and you
probation.
get probation.
That's it.
That's.
And maybe he had a fine, $5,000 or something like that.
Big whoop.
A big whoop. Yeah, but you're back out, and so
because you said you'll never do this again.
we won't do it again, Judge. Well, okay. So, you want to believe, but you never know, and maybe we just don't hear the other side. Here, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Maybe you just don't hear the other side. Maybe some people are rehabilitated from this, and you never hear those stories.
Well, no.
No.
I wouldn't.
That's right, because they're towing the line. Everything's going fine.
Yeah.
They had their one conviction.
Yeah.
They went to, I don't know, some kind of therapy or whatever, and now they don't do it anymore. And you just never hear those stories. You just hear stories like this, where they say they can't be rehabilitated. I don't know. So, all right, let's see other things going on. We had, it was last week or a couple weeks ago, where we had the student from Roger Williams University. She lived from Manville, where she passed away in Italy.
Yes,
And,
studying abroad.
Yeah. There's another one out of Massachusetts from Waltham, where Bentley University is. A Bentley University senior died, and he fell from a balcony in the Bahamas. Wow. The Waltham school indicates that the death of he's from Shrewsbury, the Shrewsbury native, on Sunday appears to be a tragic accident. He was on a senior trip to the Bahamas and apparently fell from the balcony at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort. The Royal Bahamas Police Force is investigating. Unfortunately, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Drunk is right.
Yeah.
And because you just don't, unless you make a running jump. If you stumble, then you can fall over the balcony like that. Is it in the story? No. But that's the first thing you think of when you hear something like that. Other than they weren't pushed.
Well, that's a shame. Exactly. And the police are investigating, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, unless the
ballastic.
The
the
wall was
fence
too
that
low.
was broke?
What it broke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think if it broke, somebody would say that in the story. The thing
Yeah.
broke.
And he tumbled out of it. Yeah. All right. Was it last week that the Trump administration said that Harvard University is going to lose their
I think it was last week.
tax exempt status? Yeah. Did you see what happened online, Ed? This was and Linda, because I thought this was funny. The letter came from Linda McMahon, head of Department of Education, and she sent the letter about removing the tax status, and they sent it back to her. They marked it up with a red pen, and they corrected it, all the grammatical errors and everything that was misspelled.
That'll score points.
That is so funny.
That'll score a lot of points.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go over well. Yeah.
And she's wow.
Well,
she
signed it. I don't know.
Yeah, but read it before you sign it.
Well, she probably Here's what we would need to say to them. Someone type it up for me, and I'll just she should have read it.
Sure.
I'll just sign it, and so everything was all the errors and dangling participles and things, things like that. I'm like, oh, that is too funny. Yeah, but it's not going to put you in good graces, though.
No.
But Harvard President Alan Garber says the Trump administration's effort to address issues at the university are not legal. Garber has written to Linda McMahon, saying they share a common ground on critical issues that include anti-Semitism. He says the Trump administration's methods of addressing those issues are an unlawful attempt to control fundamental aspects of Harvard operations. McMahon informed Harvard last week that until major changes are made at the school, it would no longer be eligible for federal grants. So I don't know. Not having the intricate workings there of Harvard University, I don't know who's right in this aspect. Well, you think that their tax exempt status will let it hold up?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that would be a big deal because their tax exempt status, they get a lot of donations from some very big
Yes, they do.
donors, so to speak.
Alumni people?
Well, they get endowments,
people
big,
that have become billionaires.
Yeah.
You know, and those people that are donating are getting a tax break. Now,
Yes,
if
they
all
are.
of a sudden they lose their tax exempt status, these donations will no longer be tax free.
Yeah.
Not tax free, but no longer be tax deductible from their returns. So they may not decide to give as much or give it to someone else,
All right.
so they can still get their tax break.
Huh. All right. And the wheels keep turning
Yeah.
over there at Harvard. And I'm sure at other schools. I wonder what the other Ivy League schools are wondering. Yale and
Yeah.
Dartmouth and those, and Brown.
Who decides that they're tax exempt anyways? The president?
Well, he did this time.
Well, I know. No, I know that. I know, but
I don't know.
who decides?
I don't know if it's. I would think it's the Department of Education.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to get this tax exempt status, one of the conditions is that you have to obey federal law. And if you're not obeying the federal law, then their way of thinking is that if you're not going to obey the laws, we're not going to give you any money. We're not going to give you
Yeah.
the break so that you can get additional monies or give you money either.
All right. Moving along. Not a good story out of Fall River. Fall River woman is sentenced to spend 10 months in federal prison. She was stealing her Social Security benefits that were meant for her child. Yeah, prosecutors say Nancy Taylor stole almost $87,000. Wow.
Wow.
Well, between 2016 and 2022. Wow. So, yeah. Once again, I take the money, don't get caught. Take the money, don't get caught. Oh, this is easy. And so we just keep doing it. Now, Taylor lost custody of the child in 2016, but continued to collect the money until 2022, while claiming it was being used to pay for child care.
And she didn't have the child anymore.
I shouldn't have the child anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah. Taylor, who's 45, was indicted by a federal grand jury last year, sentenced yesterday in Boston federal court.
Wow.
10 months. Not a real long time, but yeah, stuff you can't do. So they just keep cashing the checks.
Wow.
And I don't know if this was a joke or not, but I saw something online where Elon Musk and the whole Doge people found someone that was collecting 11 different Social Security checks. He had 11 different numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And was raking in like millions. I'm like, but you never know what you can believe.
Yeah, right.
When you read it online.
Well, exactly.
Is this a right thing? Is this a wrong thing? I don't know.
Online or in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
You just never know.
Never know anymore.
All right, we're gonna take a break because Linda's gonna leave. Gotta head out. So okay, we'll let you go.
Well, thank you, and I'll see you next week.
Next week. All right, Linda. Thanks. More coffee ends coming up. Stick around.
Hey there, Blackstone Valley. The Valley Breeze is bringing back the Voices of the Valley Awards, and we want you to be a part of it. Who's got the best burger? The coolest hidden gem in town? You decide. Nominate and vote for your local favorites and help crown the best businesses, people, and places in this exciting community competition. Visit voicesofthevalley.net to learn more and vote daily for a chance to win cash prizes. That's voicesofthevalley.net.
Why'd I go to the doctor?
One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Thanks for joining us on the Coffee In program. I'm Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew. Linda Tebow had to go, and so it's me and Ed here for the final few minutes here on ON. We got a call in, 766-1240. It just says to the panel, to obtain tax-exempt status, like what Harvard University is, you have to file an application with the IRS.
Oh, okay.
So
Makes sense.
that does certainly make sense. So I guess they would decide whether or not you actually get it. So, but the president wields a lot of power. Can they go and revoke it and then tell the IRS, I have decided to revoke their tax-exempt status, and does the IRS have to listen? I don't know, because it's never been done before. So, all right. So that's what's going on there. So, all right. Other things going on. Let's see. Oh, joyful, Ed.
Joyful?
Michael Jordan, the basketball player.
Yeah.
He's going to be joining NBC's NBA coverage this fall. Will you want to watch more basketball because Michael Jordan will be there?
No.
Me neither. The network announced on Monday that Jordan will be a special contributor. In a statement, Jordan said the NBA on NBC was a meaningful part of his career, and he's excited about being a special contributor to the project. The NBA will be back on NBC for the first time since 2002. The league and network reached an 11-year deal last summer. Doesn't say how much money that the league has to pay NBC, but okay. So all right. So it's special contributor. I don't know what that means. I guess he won't be going out to the games and providing color commentary or doing any play-by-play. He's not going to do what Brady does, doing color. He's just be more on the pregame, I guess. And
no idea.
I don't know either. So I'm like, okay. Doesn't make me want to watch it anymore. So I'm like, well, okay, you're gonna pay him a lot of money. So there you go, and I'm sure some people love it. Think it's okay, it's great. Are you following the Kardashians, Ed?
No.
This should be taking up more of your time. Well, Kim Kardashian, she's in Paris, and she's going to testify in her multi-million-dollar jewelry heist trial. I read a little bit about this. Someone broke into her place in Paris and stole some stuff. Okay, robbers are charged with stealing more than $10 million in jewels from her at a hotel in Paris in 2016. She was tied up with zip ties and duct tape as the robbers took her jewelry, including a $4 million engagement ring given to her by her ex, Kanye West. They caught them. 5 robbers are being charged with armed robbery and kidnapping. The others are accused of just being accessories. And she's there to testify against them. And it all sounds like some movie, doesn't it?
Sounds like a Kardashian episode.
It does sound like a Kardashian episode. So, okay, there you go. So she's going there to testify and try to put these people behind bars. All right. Memorial Day is coming up. And that's the time to set aside to honor those men and women who gave their lives serving their country in the military. U.S. News and World Report says it's also a time for the first long weekend getaway of the summer. And they rank some of the top destinations, and New York's Finger Lakes region takes the top spot in the East.
Really?
I have never been there. Well, I think I've been by it, but I've never stayed anywhere near there. Have you been up in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York?
I went camping there once.
One time?
A long time ago.
All right. Rounding out the top 5, though, are Boston, Cape May, New Jersey, New York City, and Annapolis, Maryland. That's here in the east. On the west, the big places to go, Big Bear, California. I don't know if you can still ski, but that's a big skiing area. Denver, Colorado, Jackson Hole. I've been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Very nice town. Vegas and Palm Springs make the cut. All right. I plan on going nowhere for this Memorial Day weekend.
Fort Ticonderoga on one of the Finger Lakes?
Gee, I don't know. I know it's in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Is that where you went?
That's well, we were camping near there, and we did go to Fort Ticonderoga one day to visit the place.
Okay.
Check it out. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, if you want to grab it up, Ed, let's see. We got the new Pope.
Yeah.
Okay. Pope Leo XIV's former residence, not in Chicago, because he was born in Chicago, but he lived in St. Louis for a while, it seems.
Oh, yeah?
And his former residence in St. Louis is up for sale. The former Immaculate Conception Church and Rectory was listed. I guess he was a priest there. Okay. Was listed in February for $1.8 million. Robert Prevost lived in the rectory at the start of his journey to the priesthood in 1977 and 1978. The property, which closed as a church in 2005, is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. They don't say what it's going for right now, though. They had a famous person live there. I'm sure the price of $1.8 million has gone up. Let's start it at 5, and we'll see who wants it. All right. Let's see. An Arizona family is mourning the death of a tree trimmer. Wow. Jamie Yepes had to be rescued Saturday from a 50-foot tree in West Phoenix. Family members say the 43-year-old died from suffocation when part of the palm tree he cut fell on him. Firefighters used ropes, drones, and ladders to get the man out of the tree. He was taken to the hospital in extremely critical condition. His death was announced Sunday night. So yeah, you don't, on those really big trees, you just don't cut it. You just don't cut it at the base. They climb the tree.
You said it was a palm tree.
Palm tree, yeah. So, and he died of suffocation.
Yeah.
He cut part of it, and the palms fell on him, and I guess they were just covering.
Must have been
covering his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, your arms are stuck.
Yeah.
And you can't get them off. That is bizarre.
It sure is.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. And yep, the other dead whale was. We talked about the one in East Providence, Yarmouth, Mass. A dead whale was found on private property last Thursday. The International Fund for Animal Welfare has determined that the male was an adult female fin whale that was 65 feet long and weighed between 80,000 and 100,000 pounds. The whale appeared to be recently deceased, and biological samplings were conducted to better understand how the whale died. The town of Yarmouth is working with federal, state, and local partners to determine the best way to dispose of the carcass, and there will be an update when a plan is in place. I didn't think about this with the one in East Providence, but could you tie a rope like around its tail and attach it to a boat and just drag it back out and then just let it go at sea?
Well, you said the one in Providence would be kind of disintegrate
if you did
tried
that.
to
You
move it.
just fall. It would just
That's
fall
why
apart.
they didn't want to do anything with it.
This one's recent, so that's not going to happen. So, all right. You would think that would be an easy way to get rid of it, right? Just tie it, and just drag it back out to the ocean, and let the other fishies.
I guess I don't know.
Take care of it. All right. Well,
it's above my pay grade, unfortunately. I
how to get rid of carcasses
Yeah,
and
really.
whale carcasses.
Yeah.
You didn't study that in school?
No.
They didn't teach you that over at Mount St. Charles. So this is I guess he's trying to make a point. But Health and Human Services Secretary, that would be Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He is a film. There's a video going viral. He took his grandkids swimming in a D.C. creek, not just any creek. Kennedy says his group was taking a hike in D.C.'s Dumbarton Oaks Park on Mother's Day when they decided to take a dip in Rock Creek. Photos posted on Kennedy's social media account had gotten more than 1 million views. The National Park Service warns visitors to stay out of the creek due to elevated bacteria levels. And the city has banned swimming there since 1971. So how come it's okay for him to do this? And how come he hasn't been fined by D.C.? Is it because he's the Health and Human Services Secretary, and they say, let it go? It's too much. It'd be too much bother. I don't
know.
And all right, now I haven't heard him explain himself, so I don't know. Do you know? Did he say, well, it's been cleaned up recently, and so now it's okay, like they did years ago with the Charles River in Boston? Okay, it's finally clean enough. We can't. Remember when Bill Weld went swimming in the Charles? Is it the same kind of thing? Oh no, it's clean. It's clean enough to swim in now, but they still have signs posted that said no swimming in the creek. So
I have no idea.
I don't know what kind of point he was trying to make, other than
point that he did it because he could.
Because he can do it. But even if you could do it, Ed, would you go swimming in a river that says no, the high bacteria level, not good?
I'm not. I would like to think that I'm smarter than that.
Okay, me too.
Or more afraid of that than that.
And people always say, oh well, it should be okay. Just keep your mouth shut. Water's going to seep in somehow. It gets on your face, and droplets can pop into your mouth at any time, and you're gonna get stuff. So I don't know. So, Ed, you always say that getting the lottery tickets is not a good retirement plan.
It isn't.
I know, but
unless you win.
Well, someone in New Jersey is lucky. Karma appears to have helped a New Jersey lottery player who's cashing in on his $1 million winnings. Lottery officials say back on April 30th, the player spotted a $100 bill on the counter at the Phillipsburg Paul Mart. I guess that's a town in New Jersey, in Warren County, and turned his find into the store's lost and found. Moments later, he purchased 3. Oh, so he didn't keep the money. All right. But then he decides he's going to purchase 3 Power 20X tickets with one of the scratch-offs containing the $1 million prize.
Wow.
While visiting the New Jersey Lottery's office, he claimed the prize. The player called the whole scenario a test from God.
Yep. See, if you're an honest person,
That's
good things
right.
happen to you.
And funny that the $100 bill was on the counter and not like on the ground. And he was honest. This isn't mine, and it's just laying here. So, how does he know what the worker's going to do with it? Oh yeah, we'll put it in the lost and found. Wink, wink, nudge. Yeah, okay. I don't know, but yeah, it's. And he decides to buy the tickets, and like he said, test from God, and God rewarded him.
Yeah.
So how much? That's great. So, all right. Did you hear about the jockey from Kentucky Derby?
No.
The winning jockey of the horse Sovereignty. I think that was the name of the horse.
It was.
And I can't remember the jockey's name, but he was fined $65,000. There is a horse race integrity and safety council or something like that. Okay?
Okay.
And there's rules for the Kentucky Derby of how many times you can hit the horse while you're riding in the race.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. But apparently, and they look for these things, he hit the horse 10 times.
Okay.
That's too many.
Really?
I don't know. I think it's 8, but I'm not positive on that. And so they could have disqualified him too from winning the race, but they didn't do that. But they did find the jockey $65,000 because he hit the horse too many times to get it to run faster. I thought it was just unlimited.
I never thought about it at all. I mean, I know.
Well,
that
you always see them doing it.
They do it, and I just figured it was what they did.
This is how I want you to run.
This is how we spurred a horse to go a little faster.
I want you to run faster.
Yeah.
Okay, faster than this. But apparently, there's a limit on how many times you can do this. I said, I never knew this. And 10's too many. Now, how long is the track? A mile and an eighth?
Yeah, it's about that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the different races are different lengths, but we'll go with that.
All right. As soon as you start off, you can hit the horse 10 times before you get around the first turn, and then you're done.
Usually you see it when they're in
Down
the last
the-
stretch.
Okay.
That's
And-
when you normally would see
And
that.
down the stretch they come?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, he was fined 65, and they didn't disqualify the horse. Although I don't think the horse is running in the
He's not.
in the Preakness.
No, he's not.
So no Triple Crown this year.
Nope.
It's possible. Okay. Did they say why he's not running?
Don't know.
Okay. Today is National Apple Pie Day.
Today is?
Today is.
Oh,
So
good.
Go out and have some. It's considered America's favorite dessert. It's celebrated annually on May 13th. Researchers say the first known printed apple pie recipe came from England in the late 1300s. So people have been having apple pie.
1300s?
1300.
Well, it didn't come to the United States then.
No, it's back there in England. So they have apples too.
Yeah.
So go out and have yourself a.
No, they came and picked them in Washington State and brought them back.
All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in, everyone. And our thanks to Linda Tebow, who is here for us the 3/4 of the show. And Ed, thanks for coming in today.
Always a pleasure.
All right, I'm Joe Callahan. Have yourself a great day. We'll talk again today at 2. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew coming up right after the 9 o'clock news on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Cass.